What's up, everybody? Calling back here for another look at a previous week in Moose Country. This is for week 10 in the qmjhl for the Halifax Mooseheads. We're going live with this one again to discuss. So if you want to chat with us, feel free to click the link either in any of the Facebook groups and join in the topic. All right, hey Eden, how you doing?
Good.
So I'm just going to copy this link and put it in the chat. And there we go. I don't think we have anybody in as of yet.
I'm sending Trevor a message and being like, where are you at?
You tell him to join in. Order. We got one person watching. Chat. Order. Alright, so we're just going to give it a minute real quick before we start. Let some people funnel in. Alright. Hi, hon. How you doing? My wife in the chat. God love her. Alright, I'm just going to share these. We are live. Alright, so I'm sending the link in the Moose fan page, which is the one dedicated for our channel, ran by my beautiful wife. I am now sending it to Moose Country Club. Season ticket holders. And last but not least, Mooseheads Fan Club. Join in anytime and we'll get this party started. We have a lot to talk about this week, as you can imagine, with what's been going on with the Moose. And I think this is probably going to be one of the most controversial episodes we have, because there's going to be some opinions. There's just going to be. Let's move this. We're going to move this. Alright, let's get the party started. Come on, Ryan, where you at? You're supposed to be in here already. Give us time. If you're just tuning in now, and this is done and over with, just fast forward a few minutes. We'll get into it. Lives are a little bit funny. They're unscripted, and you kind of have to wait till the lobbies fill up, and so we can get some interaction from other fans. So just give us some patience and give us some time. Yeah, that's that. So I took some heat this week on Facebook. I made some posts. I have opinions, and I have no problem with voicing them. A lot of people will sit there and keep their opinions to themselves. I'm not that guy. If I think that something should be done or might be done, I'm going to voice it. And I had a lot of people come to my defense, and people thought, rationally about it and took my side. Others, on the other hand, thought I was bashing the Halifax Moose, and that couldn't be further from the truth. The post that I put up, if you don't know, was what if we are not buying this year? What if we're not trying to add people to the roster, but instead this is the year where we start our rebuild? Now, the reason that sounds so enticing to me is I'd like to build a team around Levesque if only if this isn't the year we're going to push for it. Levesque, if we start a rebuild next year, then Levesque will have been gone by the time we have a winning team. If we start a rebuild this year, it'll be Levesque's 20th year with us, like his fourth year, his year 20 with the team, and we could have a real solid team with him in 3 years. So not that I want to see anybody traded. I love all of our boys. But if we were to rebuild this year, we would get a lot more for people like Dumais and Rousseau this year than we would next year. You see, the thing that people don't understand is Rousseau could get picked up this year as a free agent and signed and not come back next year. He might go to the AHL next year. We don't know. Same with Vidicek. He might get picked up this year and go to an AHL team next year. We may not see these guys. Nothing's guaranteed in hockey. And we may not see these guys come back next year. We're definitely not seeing Dumais back next year. He's going to play for AHL. He would have been there this year, except for his age wouldn't allow him. So if we were to start a rebuild, we have a lot more chips to gamble with this year than we would next year. So I simply just put it out there to see what people thought, and some people were thinking I was hating on the team, and I'm not. I love my Moose. If we can go for it this year, I'd love to see us go for it this year. But if we want to stay competitive, which is what Sam and Peter said when they first bought the team, then this would be the year to start rebuilding and selling off assets. And I know they're kids; they're not technically assets. I get that, but in the business world, that's simply what they are. They're assets, and we would get a lot more for people like Dumais and Rousseau this year than we would next year. Just food for thought. Now we're gonna touch on this later once we get more people in the chat. But I just want to bring it up because there was some mixed emotions on the Facebook forums, and I want you to know that I love our Moose. I'm not just somebody out there trolling to get comments. Not somebody out there just looking to start an argument or a debate. It was just a thought. So we might as well go right into it with anybody who wants to chime in the chat. Please do. Otherwise, people just get tired of me talking. My voice is not that sexy. But we'll talk about game 1 against the Armada. Now, we've beat Armada. We should have beaten them. Was the Armada the first game? Yeah, it was. We should have beat them. We let our we were ahead twice, I think, by 2 points, and we allowed them to catch up both times, losing in OT 5-4. Now, just some key points that I've seen in those games is we had a good first and second period. They were playing okay. They were still playing down to the Armada's level, but we were able to stay ahead. Then we started letting odd man rush after odd man rush down into our end. Defense wasn't clearing any of the garbage away from Rousseau. They were letting the rebounds just sit there, ripe for the picking, to be shoved in the net. Rousseau can only do so much. We gave them entirely too much respect and way too much space. There was no pressure in that game, I didn't find. Not like there was when we were, hey Cam, not like there was when we were in New Brunswick. We were on them like ticks, not getting off of them. The only silver lining I can see to that game against Armada was Schultz. Schultz had a beauty one-timer. I believe he also had 4 points in that game. Schultz is on a roll. He played the line very well and got a bunch of points in the process. So Schultz is the one shining light to that game. And after that game, our coach Mid showed up in the press saying that his team just didn't show up, which I think is absolutely atrocious for the leader to blame the pack. He's the boss. He needs to take some responsibility. And I get, as John Boone said, you don't know what team's going to show up for you, but this is becoming a pattern and not an exception. So we need to focus on what the actual issue is. How you doing, Kim? Oh, can she hear me? She's having a problem with her audio again? Kim, hi. Can you hear me? We're having issues with her audio again. All right, that's okay. She'll join us here. So that's all I got to say for the first game. Second game was another loss. Oh, here we go. She's connecting her audio now. Nope, no audio. She'll figure it out. We had a 5-2 loss against Val-d'Or. Again, good first period. Milner absolutely played great. If I could pick a star from this game, it would be Milner. And I'm not Milner's biggest supporter, but the kid made some beauty saves. He looked a little bit Russo-ish out there at times. And what went in the net, with the exception of one mistake. He made one mistake. It was the first goal he let in. It went behind him, and he swiped it with his stick. And he meant to grab it with his glove, but instead it went past him. It touched Vidi. Vidi lost it, and it went right in the net, and he was out of position. So what he should have done is what Russo does, and he paddles it aside into the boards, into the corner. And that's really what he should have done. That was the only mistake I seen Milner make. He played amazing, in my personal opinion, for that second game. There's way too many attackers in front of the net. Our boys aren't clearing those boys away from our net. They're allowing them to pitch up tent and live in front of our goalies rent free, and that can't happen. We need to put some bodies on those boys that are sitting in front of our net waiting for rebounds and get them out of there. They can't just take up space in front of our goalie. That's got to stop. At the end, we went into a 6-4. I might have some things messed up here. No, I think that's right. We went into a 6-4 situation where we pulled our goalie and we had a power play, and the boys couldn't put it in then. They ended up scoring an empty netter on us. Tell me how, with people like Dumais and Vidicek and Cataford and Schultze and Furlong, let me know how, with a 6-on-4 against a mid-tier to lower-tier team, we can't stick one in with 2 men ahead of them, 2 men more than them. It was disappointing to say the least, and we need to figure out something. Something's got to be done. Really wish some people would join in to give me their take on it, or if Eden wouldn't mind giving her take on it, or Kim's audio would start working. Hey, I don't know you, but hi. Ryan's going to be joining us. He's just unpacking now. Crack open the water. Take a bit of a drink. We got 8 people watching. Hi, 8 people. How y'all doing? Type in the chat if you're having a good night. Oh, that's good water. That's good H2O. Foosballs for the devil. That's some high quality. That's what it is. That's some high quality H2O. So then we went into game 3 against the Huskies. Same situation. Odd man rushes. We got three attackers at our net, while 4 defenders are way behind the play in a lineup too, like just waiting for the puck to pass for them. It was lazy hockey on Saturday night. Melissa says she's chilling with Elvis. When did you start following the Mooseheads? I'm not sure. Who's Penguin Blue Jays? I've been a Moose fan since my father used to take me as a kid, but I've been a devoted Moosehead fan for 2 seasons. I've been going to games forever, but not the way I go now. My host is a Moose host now. Yeah, my daughter. I'll tell you, if you're interested in the story, hop onto our YouTube channel, go to videos, and look for Colin's Surprise, where Dylan interviewed me. You'll hear more all about it. Yeah, so we're not. They doubled our shots. The Huskies doubled our shots. I think last I looked, it was 40-21 in favor of the Huskies. That's crazy. They dominated us so bad. They doubled our shots. Why is my chat not working? Hang on. Sorry, guys. How do I refresh this? I know what I'll do. The link in again. There we go. I see it on my screen, but I can't see it in the chat. Okay, whatever. Kim's still waiting on hers. We got Ryan setting up his computer right now, so we're going to touch on those 3 games again once we get somebody else with an opinion in to let us know. But yeah, they doubled our shots against the Huskies, and we couldn't find a way to do anything. Thus proving the point that you shut down that first line, and that's it. You can't do anything. I noticed one of the things I noticed too is, so we talk about our defense breaking down a lot, but I noticed Kilfoyle, who was supposed to be this, one of the great picks we had this year, one of the great people we have coming in this year, and I see him more often than not hitting the blue line, dumping it in the corner, and that's just it's not working. Move on. Let's try carrying it in. Make some plays to get past the blue line. We got to get away from their defenders. They're doing a very good job right now of shutting us down, and we need to be creative about how we get into their zone. This chat isn't showing up anymore here, I don't think. Well, yours did. Here's to think at times. Mike Jones, what hurts to think at times, bud? Let us know. So. So I put the link to the Zoom call in our chat here. Feel free to click it and join in and let us know what you thought of the last 3 games. Let me know if you have a differing opinion. If you thought the boys played great and just got played, or if you think that the trip was the reason that they didn't do so well. Yeah, I didn't see Lindsay's at all. I seen her comment on the screen, but it wasn't in the actual chat. So, Lindsay, you want to retype it? Or was there a way to delete it? Maybe you deleted it. I don't know. Oh, Kim, stop showing us your boobs. Connecting audio. Is it going to work this time, Kim? Nope, not working again. All right. So, I would like for Kim to join in. She's been a ticket holder for a long time, and I have a question, something I don't know the answer to.
She's switching. She's switching from the iPhone to the iPad. It looks like. So let's see if the iPad works.
So you're building a nutcracker while you listen, eh? Right on. Is that for Steve? Oh, that's bad. I'm sorry. So, okay, maybe somebody in the chat can answer me this. I was going through the rabbit hole of YouTube today. Tim, stop showing your boobs. I was going down the rabbit hole of YouTube today, and I started watching some NHL skill competitions. I don't think Lindsay got the joke. Nutcracker for your husband. So yeah, and I came across skill competitions for the NHL. You know, their yearly All-Star games where they do their shootouts and they do their stick handling and all that stuff. Is that something? And please tell me in the chat. Is that something that the QMJHL or the CHL has ever had? And if so, why did it stop? And yeah, let me know, because that's something I would love to see here. You know, put a bid in to have it done here in Halifax, and we get to see the top from the QMJHL go in and show off the way they do in the NHL for their skill competitions. I think that would be fun. 13 people in, and I'm not getting any chat. Come on, guys. Got 2 people on the Zoom call, and nobody's talking to me. Am I that unenjoyable? Let's go. All-Star games in years ago. So, Trevor, why did we stop? And is that something that kind of like the juniors were a city would bid for to have it in their rink? And did it play the same well as an NHL one did? Trevor, just join the show, bud. Join the show. Yeah, they have the top prospects game. I've seen that. But I'd like to see the other stuff too, the fun stuff, where you dress up as Superman and you try to score on the goalie and that kind of fun. It's team building. It's great for fans. It's something I think I would really love to see. It wasn't a bid, so you just decide where they're going to have it. So who in the chat would like to see that? A similar style skill competition to the NHL. I think it's just the schedule. I'm sure we can make room for it. See, I don't know why we couldn't do it anytime. Really, knock out a week, add a week on to the end of the schedule. I don't care. I think it would be awesome. There's definitely a way to do it. You can't just say there's no time. There's got to be a way to fit it in somewhere, somehow. It brings awareness to the leagues, because let's face it, we don't have the followings that NHL does, right? It might be badass hockey and way more entertaining than the NHL, but most people don't know that. They don't want to watch a junior team. They think that it's less than, when really it's better than. No Tim Hortons tonight. Too late. So, all right. Well, I'm just gonna blow through the rest of this. What are we gonna do to turn this around, guys? 3 losses. What is it? 3 losses, a win. Before that was a loss. 2 losses, I think it was. What are we gonna do to turn this around? This is not the first ranked team we've seen in weeks past. Something's shifted with the team. They can do it when they fly guy. You can do it when you got fly guys for juniors. Yeah, 100%. I think they could do it when they do juniors. They could add a couple days onto it and do juniors. I think that would be a great idea. But what are we gonna do? Chat, what are we going to do to get us out of this slump? Is it something that we can do with what we already have? Is it something that we're going to have to add? Is it something we're going to have to get rid of? I want to know what your guys' opinions are. What we're going to do to fix what we're into. You got any opinions, Eden?
I don't know. I don't really know what to do at this point.
They need to get back to basics. I agree. I think we have a winning team. If we have all the pieces, I don't think we need to add anything. I think some people have to. Here's the thing. When Furlong, we'll take him for example. When Furlong gets to the NHL, he's going to have to reinvent his game. If he wants to last in the NHL, he's going to have to reinvent his game. Nothing is different about the qmjhl. If something's not working, reinvent the wheel. We're playing way too offensively on our back end. That's another thing. On Facebook, people saying, oh, we got a great back end. We need to do something with our lines. No. Defense wins games just as much as offense wins games. And if we have one line that's putting up 2, 3, 4 points a night and we can't keep a lead, it's our back end that's the issue. Prove me wrong. We got plenty of scoring out there, but we can't seem to keep the puck out of our zone and keep control of the puck. Something needs to be reinvented. Something needs to be worked on, and I think personally it's defense. What do you think, Ryan?
I think Midge has got to go.
Coach Mid is what Jose has named him in the chat, and I think that's a very fitting name for Midgley. Coach Mid.
Mid, yep.
I don't know if they don't want to play for him or if they don't respect him. Something's going on with that team, and it's just getting worse. What you miss...
We're falling down the hill more and more every game.
Yep.
I'm noticing less and less structure in our team. I'm noticing more of Midge screaming at our players than I'm seeing of him coaching our players.
Yeah.
And it feels like he's kind of there to collect, in my mind, he's there to collect the paycheck. He's there to give guidance to the team, but the rest is up to the team.
Yeah.
You know your lines, you know who you're friends with, you know who you play good with. Go do it. Let me know how it goes, and I'll screw it up for you next game too. If you find the chemistry, I'll screw it up next game. Don't worry.
Now, let me ask something. Have you ever had a really good boss who would come out and work with you and do the job with you?
Yep.
So I was fortunate as well to have a boss like that. And I don't think he's putting into the team what he's expecting the team to put into it. I think this is maybe a stop for him on his road back to the show.
Yeah.
Right. That's my opinion. I think that's half of the problem.
Yeah, I think he's a bump in the road.
So Mike Jones, a.k.a. Chris, says, I think that's half the problem. This fan base thinks the D-men are the top dogs when they really are not. And he's right, they're not. I love our boys, I do. But right now, the only two that are doing their jobs is McKinnon, who has had a bad couple games recently, and Schultze. In my opinion, those are the only defensemen who are doing their jobs. And I get that there's offensive defensemen and two-way defensemen, stay-at-home defensemen. I get that. But bottom line is you're a defenseman. That's your job first, defense. Yeah. And if you're not putting up the blocks, if you're not, putting the body to it, why do you think you're worthy of going down and shooting the puck? Right? I don't know. My 2 cents.
Yeah.
So what you missed...
no, you get it.
What you missed, Ryan, is we talked about the first, second, and third game last week. The 5-4 loss, the 5-2 loss, and the 0-2 loss. And just the fact that, in my opinion, defense completely broke the hell down. We weren't clearing garbage away from the net. We were allowing rebounds to just sit in front of the net. We weren't clearing people away from the net. At one point in the Huskies game, we had 3 attackers at our net, 1 defender, and 4 defenders way back behind the hash marks in a lineup, waiting for the puck to be passed to them. That's the issue. That's our issue right now. Milner was a rock star when he played. I think that was game 2. He was an absolute rock star. He stood on his head. He made Russo-like saves. And then the only really good thing coming out of the first game was Schultz beauty one-timer and 4 points. So that's what you missed so far.
So not too much. Just a whole lot of Colin talking to himself.
That's all it's been. Eden won't give me the time of day up there in that corner. Jeez.
Eden's just, she's just looking pretty in the... Well, everything's backwards. She's looking pretty in that corner. It's fine.
She looks like she's in a cave. It's dark.
And I look like I own the cave.
You did look like a caveman. We also discussed Dylan, Evergreen experience was horrible. That's what we'll talk about. Absolutely horrible. Now, I don't know about the rest of the festival because I didn't attend it. I was there for the Moose only. But the IT guy needs to be fired. We went down to watch Friday's game. Friday's game. Friday's game. And we ended up leaving through the first period, I think.
Second period froze.
No, it was, I don't know, whatever period. We ended up leaving. It froze. It wouldn't come back on. We drove all the way home, made it home to watch the third period. But there was zero communication with the people who were running it. Me and Ryan were running around trying to find people who ran it so they could unfreeze things and get the English link up and take something off the screen that was blocking the game, and it was
get the game on in general.
Yeah, it wasn't being run at all. It was an absolute shit show, and I think they used the Mooseheads in order to attract people to their festival.
So I'm going to speak on that because you're not wrong. I think they are using the Moose as a way of getting people into the festival as well. Now, given on that statement, this festival has run, I think this is its 5th year. It ran all through COVID. It didn't take a stop. So it is an established festival, but they are known for having like the little hobby shops like we've seen over with the food and the vendors and stuff like that. and movies. They used to do movies. So what they would do is, you'd have on a Friday night Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or something like that. So doing live games is new to them this year. And I also think that them having a sound stage, which obviously has nothing to do with us, but it is a new addition as well, I'm pretty sure, because I don't remember seeing it in years previous. So they've added both of these at the same time and left us in the dark as the Moosehead fans, because it almost seems like if there's a concert and a game at the same time, Tiny Tim is dealing with the concert because that's more important than a Moosehead's game.
Yeah. Melissa says she didn't even want to talk about it because it wasn't a bad festival. She said that like CJ had an amazing time down there with the games and the hockey, and it was really fun. So I guess I have a bitter taste in my mouth simply because of the game. We went down, we promoted it for the game. We went down there for the game, and both nights it was just horrible. It wasn't great. The East League.
Well, and the worst thing about it is too. Well, and the worst thing about it too is me and you personally have promoted that festival quite a bit because we are avid Moosehead fans. We do enjoy sharing the sport and sharing our experience with others, whether they're fellow Moosehead fans, if they're just people that are walking by on the boardwalk, because that's where the Evergreen Festival is. They peek their head around the corner, and I say, "Hey, it's a Mooseheads game. Oh, what's the score?" You don't want to know. Come sit down and find out.
Might I say that your hair is looking particularly Thorish tonight?
Thank you.
Not your face, just your hair.
Yeah, that's fine. It's the lighting. It's coming from behind me today.
You look like there's a glow
around
you. Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, so I feel bad personally promoting an event that I don't even know how to word it. That I thought would be better than it is.
Is this the Kelly Bent?
It may be.
This is the Kelly Bent. So Kelly Bent's another Moosehead.
He's a former Moosehead.
This would be the second live in a row where we had an impromptu visit from a moose.
Yeah, because the first one was your buddy, wasn't it?
Yeah, John Boone, Jonathan Boone.
Boone, yeah, Booners.
Yeah,
I mean, we wait for Kelly to join in. If it is the Kelly Bent.
I'm so curious if this is the Kelly Bent. I couldn't even tell you what he looked like. So if it is him,
I couldn't tell you now unless he looks the same.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I just feel bad promoting a festival that both me, you, and I'm sure other fans really thought was going to be the Cat's Meow, and it ended up turning out to be just another game in Moncton. We were just left in the dirt.
Especially for people like you, who have gone to like the town square to watch those games, and there was a huge crowd. And it was really fun for you guys.
Yeah, it was. Me and a few others have gone down and did the Memorial Cup the year that we won it.
I was hoping that was going to be the feel.
Well, there was no promotion for that. Like there wasn't nothing was written on Facebook, nothing like that. It was a single tweet or Facebook thing from the Moosehead saying, "Hey, we're gonna be hosting it in Town Square. It's hosted by Eastlink. There's gonna be a soundstage, big screen, everything." And it was that there was one, maybe two posts from the Mooseheads that year, and the turnout was huge. I met people that I'm still friends with to this day because of that festival.
Kelly, is your audio on? No. Okay. Checking to see if I don't know. We'll see who that is.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So we talked about the Evergreen Festival. Thanks a lot, Dylan. What we need to turn this. So Ryan, what do you think we need to turn this around? Kelly Bent, can you hear me? They're having audio issues as well.
Just to turn. What do we need to turn this team around?
Yeah. What do you think?
We need more. I think that. I really do honestly stand behind the statement when I say that I think we need either better defense or our defense that we have need better training. They need more drills. They need more, because look what happened to Milner. Milner started off on a rocky year. He was, every time he was in nets, we knew we were losing. They got a goalie coach in. He's worked with Milner. Milner has almost changed his ways. He's still let a few.
Hold on, Kelly says his audio connected. So I'm so curious if this is the Kelly Bent.
So I mean, they brought a goalie coach in. He worked close with Milner. Milner is almost turning tides. He's still let a few in, but I mean, nobody's perfect.
I'm changing my opinion.
No matter what the sport.
I'm changing my opinion.
No, as am I. Because
really
now that
well
he's got somebody. Yeah. Oh, exactly. That's what I mean. Like he's slowly getting there. But now that they've got a goalie coach in, and they've got somebody that's working with Milner, and I'm sure he's working with Rooster as well. It's not just Milner's goalie coach, but you see the difference.
Yeah.
If we could get somebody in that could do that for our defense, or even have somebody that's going to commit more time to our defense, because maybe we already have somebody that's doing that, I think that we could really turn this around in the second half.
So I think that, or even Russo, okay, they used to get on a break, odd man rush, and I was like, calm, level. I'm not worried, because Rooster always grab it. Even Rooster's getting tired, and he's proven that we can't just depend on Rooster to come up with the highlight saves every single time. The goalies are getting tired. They're getting outshot. They're taking 30, 35, 40, 45 shots a game. It's tiring. It's got to be done.
It is, and I think the other thing too is
Dylan
we relied on Russo.
Dylan says it's the same goalie coach they've had.
Okay. The goalie coach has been working with Milner more. Yeah, so the goalie coach has been working with Milner more. Joanne has shown us some stuff just from practices and stuff, because she's there with Tyler. And there's been some stuff posted on the, we said, socials as well.
Yeah.
They did a drill there, I think it was 2-ish weeks ago, of just shooting on Milner. Just repetitively had a bag of pucks, bang, 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 bang. And there was, I don't know 100% what the drill was, but I know for every shot he let in, he had to do something. And then every stop he saved, the boys would cheer him on.
Now, I touched on this before. You've seen my Facebook post. I don't know if you commented or not about the fact that, the hypothetical theory that we may be selling assets this year as opposed to buying assets. What do you think?
Who do we give away?
It would be everybody. It would be Dubé, Vidicek, Cataford, Russo, and we would start a rebuild this year for draft picks and bring up affiliate players to play in their places.
Well, no, I get that. That's what I mean, though. Like, it's like we kind of have to sell off assets because we don't have any assets to give away.
That's the thing. And so we would get first-round picks for
there's
Dumais.
one, but...
Yeah. We would get first-round picks for Dumais, first-round picks for Russo, and instead of rebuilding our team to next year for 4 years from then, we could start rebuilding it this year for 3 years from now and have Lou Levesque, the team built around Lou Levesque, as he's our youngest star right now. For his last year.
Or even just, exactly. Or even just, do a slow rebuild instead of having to devote 3-4 years into our rebuild. If we do some sell-offs in the winter and in the off season stuff, not the off season, sorry, the Christmas break, do it like you said. Get rid of 1 or 2 players. I mean, who says that Rooster's back next year? Who says Dumais back next year? Maybe they make it in their NHL camps.
Dumais not coming back next year. 100%. He's going to be playing for an AHL team. 100%. He's not. We can scratch that off. He's not coming back. Russo.
So if we get rid of him now, whether I like him or not, my opinion doesn't change. If we got rid of Dumais now, which will be my example, it saves us having a heartbreak and a loss in September when we come back, because we were like, hey, look, we knew he wasn't coming back. We got rid of him at Christmas. We picked up this top elite 16-year-old, and then next year, he plays with us this year or whatever, or the rest of the season, builds his chemistry, gets to know the team, gets to know our style of play, and then September when training camp opens, that player is one less person we have to worry about their skills because we've seen them play. It would suck to lose Dumais because as much as I don't like the kid, he is an asset to the team, and he has done some things for us that have benefited us this year. But I think using him as the example, I think if we were to get rid of him at Christmas time and pick up somebody else or somebody younger that can fill the spot.
No, we want picks. Trevor, I'm not saying this is what we want to do or that this is what we think is going to happen. This is all hypothetical, and it sucks as a Moosehead to go through this, or a Moose fan to go through this, but it's a really, really smart hockey decision. Because we're not going to get much. We're not going to get anything for Dumais next year. We may not get as much for Russo next year as we will this year. He's got a year and a half, or a year and a half left in him, a season and a half left in him, potentially to play in the queue. So another team can really find some success with him. We won't get nearly. Even Vinny could get picked up next year, right? We're going to lose out on these investments if we wait till next year to start rebuilding.
Yeah, I get you. It makes sense.
We don't even have a first-round pick to 2025?
I don't know.
I correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I think I think we have a second-round pick next one, and then we don't get a first-round pick again to the following year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. That one I'm not sure of.
Yeah. But right now, we don't have any picks to even give as a trade if we want to make a push this year. We have nothing. Tough. I'm biased. A sell-off isn't happening. Even with the past few, they're still too good to give up. Yeah, considering they're only missing 2 picks. There's still stuff here. I don't think we have enough to trade. Sorry, John. I don't think we have enough to trade. Keep in mind the Q draft isn't like the NHL. There's still lots of talented players, even in the late rounds. I agree. Just because you don't get a first-round pick doesn't mean that you're getting shit players. There's a lot more talent in this draft than the NHL draft. That's true, 100%. But, the most notable seat-selling players do get picked up in the first round. A couple rounds in the playoffs is very valuable for the young players' experience. Agreed, 100%. And we, like I said, if we could make a push this year, I think that my point is mute, and it doesn't matter. But if we can't make a push this year, if we find out that this isn't the team to do it, then we need to trade this year. That's all it was. It was a hypothetical. Not that I want any of the boys to go. We've fallen in love with every one of them. They're great kids. They're better than hockey players for the most part. They all have huge hearts, and I don't want to see any one of them go. I'm talking on a business standpoint alone.
Even Ponzetta?
I like Ponzi. Ponzi's getting gritty, man. Like, I love it.
But at first you were questioned.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. When he first showed up, he was terrified to take a hit. He wasn't getting physical whatsoever. He would avoid the puck when it came to him because he didn't want to get hit. He seemed very scared at first. He's been hanging out.
He was made of glass when he showed up. Yeah.
Now he's been hanging out with McPhee, right? Yep. So that's not
on
fair.
And off the ice. On and off the ice.
We don't have a 2024 first pick. Yes, we do, but we do have a 2025 first pick. Dumais right going to be traded next year. Dumais won't be here next year. He won't be here to be traded. We won't get anything for him.
No, he almost made AHL this year.
Yeah, but they couldn't take him because of his age. Dumais, we will not get a dime. Nothing for Dumais next year.
No.
Melissa says spicy
it would be a bad investment if we did.
Yeah, if we kept Dumais for the rest of the season, it sucks because he's the best scorer on our team. He's best points getter on our team, but we won't get anything for him next year. He'll be gone. Could be selling books. So let's talk about Schultze. Schultze made Q Team of the Week. Go Schultze, bud. Love it.
Yup.
He had, I mentioned earlier, he had 4 points in the game against Armada. He had a goal, and he's been solid defensively. We got Killful, not Milner. What? The Orr trade went to Valdor for just. Oh yes, you're just talking about what we traded our first picks for. His rights. Look at what's happening. So, why don't you join in there, Jose?
No way, Jose.
Jose, come on, man. You can join in. Tell us your thoughts, bud. Yeah. So Schultz got team of the week for the qmjhl. I think that was wicked. I love Schultz. He's probably one of my favorites on the team. He's another kid with a heart of gold, and he impresses me defensively. Like, probably one of the most impressive defensemen we have. Another thing that brought up on Facebook was the ice size and how that could have been a contributing factor to our losses because it's a lot smaller. Some were 5 feet in the difference in length. What do you guys think? Do you think that played a factor in it? You're muted, Ryan. Oh, he's on the phone. I don't know. It's tough to me. Hockey's hockey, and I get that every variable that's not a constant makes a difference. So, do I think it played a difference? Yeah. Do I think it was a huge contributing factor as to why we lost 3 games in a row against teams that were nowhere near our caliber? No, I don't think. I don't think it was that big of a difference. And I'm going to start something this week. I'm going to do 3 stars, where my personal opinion, and you guys can do your personal opinion on who the 3 stars are for this week. Valdor was 5 feet shorter. Didn't we learn
that your opinion doesn't mean much?
What? It doesn't.
Didn't we learn a couple that your opinion doesn't mean anything or much or something?
It doesn't mean anything to anybody. Your opinion means only something to yourself. My opinion only means something to myself. Dylan says that Valdor was 5 feet shorter than standard, and Huskies is 10 feet shorter. So yeah, that's a big difference. Like the 10 feet especially. That's a huge difference. I think.
Yeah, I think we have the second largest arena in the Q. I think we have the second largest arena in the Q. I could be wrong, but I think we do.
And I agree, Trevor. I don't think that was the reason we lost those games, but I do think it's a contributing factor. So, Trevor, tell us in the chat, what do you think was the biggest contributing factor as to why we lost those 3 games? If you could sum it up in one factor, what do you think it is? Also, while we're waiting for Trevor, I just want to go on record now and discuss something real quick. Dylan is going to be taking some time away. He's going to leave the channel. He's still going to continue to support us from home as he is tonight. Thank you very much, Dylan. But he's not going to be on the shows anymore. He got one more interview to do with us, and then he's going to take a hiatus from the show. Nothing personal. Absolutely love Dylan. I'm sure the feeling's mutual. Work's picking up for him, and this just takes up a bit of too much time. So I get it. I understand it. Life comes first. We'll miss you, and hopefully we still see you from time to time on the show. CJ has 3 stars on the... Oh, yes, CJ has 3 stars on the bench Friday. So after the game, our highest star awarded will come over and sign a puck for CJ. What's he say? He says he's hoping it's Schultzy, even though he already has a signed puck from him, or Russo or Vidi. Really, Vidi's not one he normally talks about, so that's news to me.
That is something big.
So my 3 stars for the week would have to be Dumais, Schultz, and Russo. So Dumais being 3rd, Schultz being 2nd, and Russo being 1st. Who would yours be?
You can go, Eden.
I didn't watch any of the games. I was at the lacrosse game, so I just followed them on Twitter.
Well, based off of what you've seen or posted, who do you think your 3 stars should be?
I don't know. I probably agree with Colin. It was like I am a Dumais fan though, so.
It seems like everyone in the room is.
Come on, you can't fault the guy. He's a great player.
I know.
So, who are your 3?
My 3, I would have to say, would definitely be Milner as my 3rd because he did play a good game.
Yeah.
My 2nd would be Larmid, Larmy, Larma, whatever the announcers would like to call him in that moment.
Okay, can you explain that one before you go on to your first star?
He's my second star because he's been playing really well. He's won, I think, most of the face-offs, if not all of the face-offs that he's faced so far. He's a strong defensive player, even though his other teammates make him look a little goofy at times. And he can take a hit. He ended with that fight in Moncton that some of us attended. Gloves off.
Yep.
People say the gloves weren't off. At least one was, and the man wasn't afraid to scrap. He's got some learning. I can't fault him for a fight or for his style of play. He came from the OHL. Their style of play is different than the Q style of play.
I think he should get the green light from coach in a bad game to go and throw those fists.
Him, and if he gets it, McPhee needs to get it.
Well, here's the thing. I think a good brawl is enough to spark a team. And I think that he's fought more recently than the rest of the boys. And I think that they should give him, then they're going to say, oh, okay, well, the Mooseheads got, some grit now. We're not going to mess with them as much. I think Midgley should give him the green light to go after whoever he wants to go after to get this team. And I don't want to see anybody hurt. Don't get me wrong. I don't want him to knock somebody's head off.
No, but it's like we always say, self-policing.
Yep. So I would say my first star would probably be Viddy. Viddy? Yeah. I like Viddy. I don't disagree with that first choice. Melissa says 3 to Ponzi, 2 to Dumais, and 1. Well, my answer there is obviously Russo. McPhee isn't a fighter. McKinnon is a fighter. McKinnon's probably the toughest person in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. Like, I've seen him skate up to big boys who are supposed to be fighters and then back down. I think it's well known out there that nobody wants to mess with McKinnon. I think it's very well. And in all honesty, I would say that Furlong's much the same. I think Furlong could probably throw down too. And Jose, I don't think we had a 6-on-3 opportunity. I believe it was a 6-on-4 opportunity. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I remember 6-on-4 at the end. I think it was the last minute and a half of the game when we pulled our goalie. Yeah, Drummondville made some trades. It will make Thursday's game interesting. It will. I think that actually plays into us a little better because they don't have the chemistry with these new players.
No, but we do have to deal with Silva, do we not?
Yes.
Who knows all of our all of our styles of play?
Is that
because
Thursday?
As I said last week?
Is that Thursday?
What? That's Thursday. Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I said in last week's meeting, it'll make it interesting for Thursday's game because the Golden playbook hasn't changed in 30 years.
Yep, that's true.
So Sylvan knows our plays. Sylvan knows what to expect. Meanwhile, he may have taken some of our plays out of our playbook and brought them to Drummondville, but at the same time, they're not as predictable as we are.
No.
I'm noticing more and more that our plays, we're getting outplayed because we're playing the same plays. And I think Sylvan's going to play that to his advantage on Thursday.
100%. So we're going to end. This is going to be our shortest live yet. But I want to leave on a note where with us missing a key point to the show, I'm going to be, instead of taking the same person on for interviews, I'm going to maybe have guest co-hosts. So maybe somebody different every week or every couple weeks or whatnot. I have 2 interviews coming up that I'd like to have somebody reach out to me on Facebook or channel or whatever. We have Jonathan Boone coming up, and we have Darcy Ashley coming up. We also have the big man himself, LaRue, coming up. So if you guys would like to be party to that and help me ask them questions, I'd love to have you shoot me a message and we'll discuss it. And I don't want to do this by myself. I like bouncing off of other people, and I like being more involved in the community than just by myself. So I already have interest in Darcy and Zach. But But
That didn't take long.
No. So shoot me a message and let me know if you guys are interested in coming on the show to help me co-host certain interviews. Depends on what he's leaving WJC. Maybe we'll. So Dylan says they made trades for one 19-year-old and one 20-year-old. So it looks like they're going for it this year. John Seitman asks, any thoughts on when Dumais will crack the all-time goals franchise record? Currently 2 goals off of the big one. Now, funny thing is, we thought it was going to be in a matter of a couple games after he broke the points record. But I'm hoping this week. I'd like to see it done at home. It depends on when he leaves the World Juniors, yeah. He also took players from the team we played in. So let me ask you guys something. Especially Jose, wasn't the juniors supposed to drop their roster of who they're inviting? And why haven't we heard anything about it yet? That was supposed to be today, right?
Yes.
If I remember correctly. Come on, Jose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
You're the guy with all the info. Let us know. Just make sure who you choose is someone who will contribute and have chemistry the way you and Dylan do. Ah, thanks, hon. I agree. If you're not interested in asking the questions and being a part of it, it's a commitment of about 2 hours. Then don't bother emailing me, texting me, messaging me. But if you think you're interested, definitely do. I know we have some rock star fans out there, some Moose maniacs with really big personalities that, come on. Let's do it. Drummondville are in the same spot as we were last year, right on the edge, Dylan says. They were supposed to today, but I think they're waiting for some NHL releases. That's interesting. They pushed it back to the NHL players. Okay. My guess is waiting for Leno in Anaheim. All right, to find out if he's coming back or not. Yeah, that's a good thought. Maybe convincing Seattle to allow Wright if he wants to go. Geez, you guys know. Yeah. I'll tell you, man. I don't know how you guys do it. I have enough trouble keeping up with the Mooseheads alone. I don't know how you guys keep all this straight. Like you, Dylan, John, you guys must, Trevor, Jose, you guys must just eat, live, sleep, and shit hockey in order to
Trevor does for sure. Trevor does for sure, and so does Dylan.
Like, to keep this all right in your mind, man. Like, sometimes I forget my kids' names. Like, how do you guys do this? This is insane.
Hey, look, if you forget one kid's name, you got a problem since you share a name.
Oh, I call him the little
Hey,
shit.
Matt. Hey, Matt, come here.
Oh, wait.
Oh, sorry, that's CJ.
Oh, Jose's going to come on. I was about to end it, but let's see what Jose has to say. No way, Jose. What's up, brother?
What's up?
What's up? What you got to say? You got something to add? What we got going on, buddy?
I joined after you said, like, the World Junior roster.
All right. Oh, we got Dylan jumping in.
Not Dylan.
Oh, get Dylan sharp.
It's not going to be a short show, I guess.
It was supposed to be today, but they moved it until they get more confirmations for NHL players.
Yeah, that's what John was saying with Leno and other players. So
my guess is they're waiting for the Fantilli confirmation because they have chemistry with Dumais.
Yeah.
So we might see a Fantilli Dumais in the line coming.
So let me ask you guys something. You guys just joined. We all know it was a shit show last week. What are you guys' opinions? Things we can do to improve. What went wrong? What's up? I gave my opinions.
I don't know. I have nothing to say.
Oh, come on, Jose. We can't shut you up most days.
Oh, it just felt like they shit the bed or something.
You think so? You think it was all player?
Well,
not bus ride, not the ice size.
Jet
maybe the ice.
See, as much as I want to put it on the players, one thing that really stands out to me, and we've already talked about coaching and stuff, is the fact that there's an article out there where Midgley threw us under the bus, ran us over, backed the bus up again, ran us over for a second time, and then said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, there was a moose in the road."
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that was
Okay.
So as much as I want to blame the players, that interview really doesn't help his case.
However, I want to throw out there that is a pretty standard type of interview whenever a team plays bad. Like, and at every level of hockey, you hear the NHL coaches call their players out like that. I think,
but you don't see it in the queue. I've never seen it in the queue, at least.
It happens all the time. It happens everywhere. A lot of it happens in the Quebec side of it, and it's all in the Quebec media because they actually do media scrums afterwards.
So now that's fair, but that does not make a good leader. I've ran many companies, some of which with 174 employees underneath me. That's true. That's fact. And I never once blamed an employee for a failure. It starts at the top, and that should be instilled in every coach.
I'm not disagreeing on that. However, I just wanted to point out that comment and that interview and what he said is something that's said all across hockey. It's said when Team Canada loses. Every time Team Canada loses, it's said when a team loses the Stanley Cup. That's a constant thing that's said. Oh, the team didn't perform. They needed to be better. This and that.
Yeah,
That's always said by the coach.
And I've heard that.
But my issue is, and it's going back to what I've been saying, and I don't understand how everybody says that the coach doesn't leave the lines alone. The coach makes 2 changes to the lineups every game. It's either we're going 11-7 or we're going 12-6.
Yep.
It's either Fontaine is in or Fontaine is out. It's either McKenzie's in or McKenzie's out.
That's only
Other
recent.
than that,
that's only recent after Lou got injured. Before that, he was still figuring out the lines.
But other than that, no other line combinations have changed. Exact same line combinations have been the exact same, except for adding, especially on forwards, except for adding Fontaine or Mosier, whoever sat the last game to make it 12 forwards. That is the issue. We're not getting the production further down. We're just sticking with one line, and that is the issue. And I've been saying it since day one. You cannot ride a one-line team.
I agree 100%. He also put 5-5 up into first line mid-game.
He did that at the start of the third period and gave him 1 period, and then the very next game he was back down on the second line.
All right. I
kept an eye on that the very next game.
I actually liked that move personally.
I did too.
Maybe
except what I didn't like about it is they had Vidicek at center.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely should have been Lermont at center.
If he goes up, he needs to be the centerman.
Yeah.
I like Vidi, but I just don't see it there.
So I said something earlier before you came on. I don't even think you were in the chat.
I was watching.
Okay.
I've been watching since you started.
So let me know what you think about this. People are saying that our back end's tight. No. So agree or disagree, defense can win games just as well as an offense, right?
They can, yeah.
Right. So I think our problem is we have a great line. Cool. If we can get 2 points out of our lines every game and shut them down, or 4 points out of our line every game and then shut them down defensively, like if we can't work to have 2 defensive or 2 dominant lines, then we need to start working on our back end and fix that defense to make up for the downfalls on our other 3 lines, right?
So our issue that I see, and I've been saying it's a lot of like diehard Moose fans have been saying it since the last year, is our defense. That is the biggest issue. We have the exact same returning decor as we did last year. Yep. Guess what? Nothing's going to change over 3 months.
Yep, agreed.
All right? It's the exact same guys. And let's face it, those combinations on the back end aren't working either.
Yep, I agree. So do we bring in a defensive coach? A better defensive coach?
I don't know if it's bringing in a better defensive coach or if it's finding a top D-man somewhere.
Because let's be honest, okay? If we're talking defensemen, I think the talent's there. I think we have the talent with our team. They're just not utilizing it in the way that's going to win.
Well,
think
and
if they
usually
had,
by this point in time, we have chemistry as well. I'm not sensing much chemistry with the new guys as I am with the returning players, obviously.
it almost feels like there's a cancer on the team eating it away.
Yeah.
Right? Like they were doing great. They seemed happy, winning, such and such, and then all of a sudden, boom, the puck drops. We're done. It's almost like there's a cancer eating away at the team that needs to be cut out.
Now, I have a question on playing on that exact thing because I genuinely don't know. So I'm asking the chat and I'm asking the group. Did our losing streak end once we got Larman? Not blaming him. I'm just asking.
No, it didn't end, but it
Did
didn't
that
start.
happen around the same time?
No, it didn't end, but it
Okay.
didn't start. So we lost against
No,
Quebec.
he means our winning streak.
Yeah, our winning streak.
No,
Sorry.
we lost against Cape Breton.
Okay.
And then we lost against the top team.
His first game was Bakamo.
No, we lost
Okay.
against Cape Breton.
No,
Yeah,
Jose
but
said his
Larman's
first
first
game.
game.
Yes. So we
Yeah.
lost against Cape
That's
Breton.
what I wasn't sure.
Bakamo. Then we played Moncton, and we played 60 strong minutes
So
against.
since we got Larman, we've been 1-5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wasn't sure what the stats were on that since we got him. I knew our streak has come to an end, but
Actually,
I wasn't sure if it happened around the same time.
It's 1-4.
No, it's 1-5.
No.
Or no, we are
Bakamo.
currently 1-5 in our last 6.
Yeah. Bakamo was our loss with Le Mans. Then we won in Moncton, and then we had 3 losses away. So that's
Yeah, 1-4.
Well,
But we
yeah.
are currently 1-5 in our last 6.
Okay, cool.
but yeah. The losing streak started with Cape Breton. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we won.
And it's
we
hard
won one
it's
in
hard to
between.
say a losing streak started there.
That's when the
But-
losing ways started. But we had that incredible game in Moncton. It looked like we were done. We were done with that bullshit, and we were going to move forward. And it just
Out
didn't
of
work
the
out that
slump.
way. Yeah, it's
So
still.
I contribute that, and as you guys know, I chat with a few of the Moncton fans that are up there, so I got a little bit of insight going into that game beforehand. They were worried about that game because the game that they played on Friday, although they won, they had no energy, I guess. And then it translated over. Like the fans had a feeling that they weren't gonna do anything.
It was a hard
Like,
fought
going
game,
into
though.
that.
I didn't find it was one sided our way or not. I found it was a hard.
No,
fought
there was
game.
a strongly fought game, back and forth. That's what I found.
Yeah, but Moncton couldn't make a pass. They couldn't. How many open nets did they miss? Let's be honest.
Yeah, they had.
How many posts did they
Let's be
Yeah,
hit?
completely honest.
They had about. They beat Russo 4 times.
You look at that game, and you look at if we got lucky.
Yeah.
As hard as we played with the bounces, with the missed bounces that they had, we got lucky that it wasn't closer. I'm not saying we would have lost, but I definitely think it would have been a hell of a lot closer, if not overtime.
I agree with that. I seen them what's it called, whiff on a couple open nets that they had Russo beat on.
Whiff, shoot wide, hit the
Yeah.
post.
Yeah.
It happened a few times.
I
So
have a question for you guys.
what's up, buddy?
Do you think the World Juniors is having a toll on Russo's head?
So that's funny you say that
It could.
because it's funny you say that because me and the wife looked at each other last night and it's like Russo doesn't have the magic that he used to have. Not saying he's not an incredible goaltender because he is, but me and my wife looked at each
Not
other.
playing his best game.
He's not. He's really not. Like I said it earlier that I used to be. Oh, they have a breakaway. Russo's in the net, no big deal. But I don't feel that way now. I'm not that comfortable anymore.
But at the
Well,
same
and
time,
I think he's getting burnt out as well because, like we had mentioned earlier, we rely heavily on Rooster and
30,
we
35,
play
40
Rooster for a lot
shots.
of games,
Yeah, 30,
and we play
40
him for a
shots.
lot of games.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's going to get tired too, which is where I'm glad Milner has been able to step up on the bar to be able to stop more shots and be a stronger goaltender.
I'm
To
eating
give
crow.
Rooster a break.
I'm eating crow with Milner. I think he's been playing phenomenal.
That's what I mean, and it gives Rooster a break, a much necessary break. And with the juniors coming up, it's really necessary that he have top performance for Team Canada, let alone just the Mooseheads.
let's let's take Team Canada out of it, because if people think that's the issue, that's because people are putting the stress on it.
Oh no, but I was just meaning like the fact that we don't want to send a burnt out goaltender up there, no matter if it's Team Canada, Germany, Austria, whatever, right? You just don't want a burnt out player.
Yeah, but if he's a burnt out, if they feel that he's a burnt out goaltender, which I don't,
No.
but they just won't take him, or he'll be the third.
Yeah, he might
and he
get
won't
sent
get ice
back.
time as much as terrible as it is.
So Melissa just put in the comment that her mother was watching us on TV and said that Ryan guy looks like Chris Stapleton.
Oh, thanks. I don't have the voice of an angel like he does.
No. All right. Anything else we need to talk about before we end this?
Other than what I just said in the chat and nobody say anything?
I didn't see it. I still don't see it.
I don't have the chat up. I'm on my phone.
You put it in the YouTube chat?
No, in the group chat.
Oh. Well, I don't have that up.
I don't see anything.
No,
Meeting chat is empty.
No,
Well, I
the Let's Be Heard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. None of us were looking in the right spot.
I just don't have the chat up. I'm on my phone.
Are we able to mention that?
And if you can in a roundabout way without saying
Here,
anything.
All right.
Let me take a look. 1 second.
Although I did see you.
Okay, I see it now.
That's fair.
Is there a way? Oh, Dylan just dipped.
Oh, I think his phone might have died, or he closed out the app by mistake. Probably switching screens.
So I don't know what you want to say here. What we should say here. Dylan might be able to.
I think that could be done.
Well, it has been done.
Yeah.
I'm just making people aware.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted us to bring attention to it. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. We'll all stand up and cheer.
Yippee.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody for joining us on the screen. It's always a blast when I get more people in here than I intended. So thank you so much. Hope this week is much better for the Moose than last week. Hope you're all healthy, safe, and happy out there. And as always, go Moose, go.